Sports Blitz Live is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown run.
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Oh, hello again, everyone, and welcome into this edition of Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham alongside Brett Pritchard. We'll be with you for the next 2 hours, taking your phone calls, taking your comments, talking about everything going on in the world of sports. We will wrap up our SEC preview tonight, talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide. We pulled a few strings, and we're going to be able to have the Locked On Bama representative.
How about that?
Talk to us.
We know who that is.
Mystery guest. But that's coming up about 7:30. And if, it's still not official, but cross your fingers. We think we might have the guys from Auburn Blitz on a little bit later in today's program.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
To talk about Auburn. So
Okay.
look forward to that.
Aren't we the Auburn Blitz?
Well, that could be. But
Okay. We could be other
it could be other. There are many hosts, apparently. So we appreciate all of you out there being with us tonight. A lot to talk about. As usual, 11 days away from college football. Well, actually, technically, there is college football this Saturday. And we will talk about some of those games. None of them really are worth much.
Nobody cares.
No, but there might be some competitive ones from teams that you normally would not watch, like, say, an Ohio and San Diego State. But, who knows? We will look at that a little bit later in tonight's program. Again, previewing Auburn and Alabama. High school football gets underway this Friday night. A few games. Jamboree types last week, but really serious business this Friday night. So looking forward to that as well. Some curious comments, and rightly so. But SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey talking about maybe needing to revisit the playoff. Now, here we are. There's going to be a 12-team playoff in 2024, and it's based on conference champions getting a bye and getting an automatic bid. Well, how are you going to give that to the Pac-12 with 4 teams? So I don't even know.
Hey, you might want to be in the Pac-12 now. Everybody that left the Pac-12 might want to go back now.
So that's going to be – you got to at least revisit that and acknowledge that there's been some major changes. So I don't know.
The world of college football is just on its ear. I mean, it's
like a top.
You can't make plans for the future because you don't know what is about to happen in the next 2 weeks. It just seems like things are changing and evolving so fast, and he's right. I mean, Texas and Oklahoma, the expansion of the SEC a couple of years ago when that was announced, kind of got this ball rolling. And, boy, it has grown exponentially bigger as it's gone downhill. And, man, we have had the biggest snowball effect that you could ever imagine.
Yes, and I don't know where it stops until it hits something and explodes. That's usually what happens.
It could be exploding pretty soon.
Yeah,
so.
Well, the avalanches tend to go, and it's quick, and it's extraordinary, but it comes to an end rather violently.
Well, speaking of exploding, I've got something I want to talk about to start. Now, we do have high school starting Thursday night here in the state. We will be in Montgomery for the champion. It's not the Champions Challenge anymore. It's Kickoff Classic.
Okay, there you go.
Selman Beauregard on Thursday night. Caleb and Tommy Wood will call the game. Caleb Brooks, Tommy Wood. On Friday night, very own Luke Robinson and Caleb Brooks will call the Thompson-Opelika game. We're doing TV and radio for the both broadcasts. So anyway, long story short, Robert E. Lee, was then changed to Lee, which is now Percy Julian, by the way, high school, and I can dive into that a little bit more here in a little bit. We'll take on Sidney Lanier, maybe Friday night, maybe. And the reason you say why is maybe. okay, during all the renaming and everything of Montgomery City schools, all of them are going to be renamed at some point in time. But Lee was the first one, and that's a historic rivalry in the state. Sidney Lanier and Robert E. Lee's been a rival in this state for a long time. Many great football players on both teams, and there's a lot of history. Not the way they envision this rivalry ending. There is a game scheduled in Crampton Bowl, Thompson and Opelika Friday night.
Yeah.
Where is Sidney Lanier and Robert E. Lee, formerly Lee, now Percy Julian, going to play? Did anybody think about that? Now they don't have anywhere to go. Now they have asked Wetumpka. Wetumpka's playing Benjamin Russell in Alex City, right? But Wetumpka said, no, can't play here. They asked Park Crossing, I think. Can't play here. And they've asked several. They asked Alabama State. Can't play here. And I'm telling you, man, and it's an uproar. And here's my deal. How in the world is your leadership so bad that you didn't look on the schedule and see that every single year for the last umpteen years, the HSA's had a kickoff classic or a Champions Challenge game on Friday. And neither team realized it. And both of them are in Montgomery.
Yeah.
And so somebody's asleep. They have been getting just hammered on social media. If I had a son playing on one of those teams, you're sitting there, you might not get to play this football game. So you just skip week one. And I don't know what's going to end up happening. I think but as of the time we went on the air, WSFA reported that Wetumpka had officially said, no, you cannot come over here and play at our field because we're not prepared city-wise, police. It's not the fact that they're just saying you can't come play. There's a lot of logistics. They didn't have it built into their budget. Wetumpka, all their people are going to be on the road here in Alex City. Mm-hmm. So they have nobody to run the gates, unlock everything. They had no concessions ordered. I mean, it's more than let's go turn the lights on, everybody go out here and play a game.
Right.
So, Andy, I mean, and to exasperate this
Byers
thing.
Field may be a bad.
It could be. But to make this thing worse, I mean, or to add a bad twist to it, this is the last time so-called Robert E. Lee and Sidney Lanier will ever play each other in those names. It's really officially Percy Julian now, which is it's just hard to fathom all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I know times have changed and things are different, but, I mean, is that really how one of the greatest rivalries in the state of Alabama, history just kind of evaporates into nothing because you didn't bother to look and schedule the stadiums correctly? I'm sorry, man. I'm not making light of it, but, you know, we deal with high school stuff all the time. I've never seen a debacle like this.
Not a junior high state, not
Why are they
anything
just
anywhere.
bringing it up? It's not like you just got this sprung on you.
Yeah.
They've been advertising and talking about the Champions Challenge.
Both played their home games at Crampton Bowl.
They do. Thompson and Opelika said, no, we got first dibs. Y'all want to play after we get done and kick off at about 11 o'clock? More than welcome to do it. But we're going to be starting it at 8 o'clock. And that's when by the way, the kickoff classic games have been bumped up an hour.
Because of the
heat. I just got out of my truck. It's 92 degrees.
It's warm.
At 7 o'clock. Now, I haven't heard an official mandate by the HSA to move all games to 8, but they are moving the kickoff classic games in Montgomery, both of them, Thursday and Friday, to 8 o'clock because of heat.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that? I mean, you didn't know about it till I just dropped it to you.
No, I didn't.
But we grew up, Andy, me and you, Robert E. Lee and Benjamin Russell, when we played, Robert E. Lee was the benchmark high school in football.
I mean, look, to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't even know Sidney Lanier was that big of a rival. I always envisioned Jeff Davis and Robert
Lee and Lanier is one of the biggest rivalries.
I had no idea.
In the state of Alabama history.
I mean, that is some. I mean,
What a sad
look.
what a
I mean,
sad
they're
way
going
to
to play
go out.
again, like you said. It's just under a different name. So, but still, I mean, for there to be no foresight to be able to envision this problem and make an adjustment, that does not speak well of the athletic directors of those schools, nor the head coaches, nor anybody in the office.
Like Eminem said, would the real leader please stand up? I mean, is there not somebody there? I mean, I don't understand it. Roger said schools have their choice to what time they play this week. Okay, referring to the rule or not the rule, but whether you want to bump it back an hour or not. And so appreciate that update. Yeah, I knew that the AHSAA had not sent out an official memo on saying that everybody needs to start. But
I hope we're not bumping the scoreboard show from 11 to 1.
I've already headed that off. Y'all are going to start at 10. Now, when will y'all get some scores? I don't know. I mean, most of the games will start at 7, I imagine. So you guys will have scores rolling in about normal. But there's going to be some that the game's probably not going to get over till 11 o'clock. So
we have to do a couple of inventive segments to start the
you
show.
might have to. I think you guys can handle it.
I
don't think y'all have ever been
think it'll be okay.
short on words.
No, that's probably true.
But I mean, but again, I didn't want to take the entire segment up talking about that. But I think it's pretty monumental that two very historic programs in Montgomery, they ain't got anywhere to play.
Well,
they're literally soliciting colleges and high schools all around the area for a place to play.
You know, I mean, Davil and Reeltown hadn't played in 2 years for completely different. Completely different reasons.
Weather.
But you talk about a great rivalry. There's another one.
And I don't know that Reeltown and Davil, and again, I don't know that they'll ever play again.
That's what I mean. So I mean, when's the last time there was clay line? Those don't happen anymore. Right?
Well, when they they merged.
How many rivalries have we lost in the last several years?
We have, for different reasons. So,
but time marches on.
It does. It does.
Oh well, we got to take our first break of the night. But thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We're brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Wonderful place to have lunch or dinner right here in downtown Alexander City. Go and check them out. Great atmosphere, great food, great people. JR Sports Bar and Grill. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep this in mind. Don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our best rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
The coast is here. Wharf Casual Seafood is serving up all your favorites: shrimp and grits, po' boys, tacos, seafood platters, and so much more. Don't miss out on our famous loaded fried green tomatoes. Wharf Casual Seafood is located on Highway 280 next to Regions Bank.
Hello, I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you, just getting started on tonight's show, brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by Sunshine Heating and Air. Give them a call today. Kevin Kill and his crew can help you out with all your heating and cooling needs. And my goodness,
working overtime
right now this week, working overtime. 256-825-4849. Sunshine Heating and Air. Some local high school football games going on this week. Tallahassee will be at Reeltown Thursday night. That's a rivalry.
Definitely.
You got 5A versus 2A there, right?
That's correct.
Sylacauga and traveling to Winona on Thursday as well. Sylacauga going to be any better than they were last year?
I don't know. They dropped us.
Yeah,
That's why they're playing Winona on Thursday night.
They struggled last year. They took some beatings, and that was unfortunate
that opening
for
game.
the Aggies for sure.
Yeah, that opening game was not one they want to
You mentioned Wetumpka is at Benjamin Russell on Friday
night.
night.
Good football game.
Horseshoe Bend will travel to Wadley.
Mm-hmm.
Dadeville travels to B.B. Comer. How about that one? How about B.B. Comer makes it all the way to the state title game last year, loses to Fife. Dadeville looked like they had a team to make it to the state title game and just inexplicably losing. And our cohort, David, with a great call on that one.
I never in my life. My phone blew up. And of all people, that somebody called me and said, hey, did you just hear what David said? I said,
we
no.
were sitting here in the studio, and
I said,
JJ looked at me and said, did I hear that?
I think he did. So, David learned a tough lesson in broadcasting. Don't let your emotions.
There you go.
I'm one to talk because, but again, you get emotionally. The fan side of David came out. So, but
Elmore County at Marbury, I should say.
Dadeville beat B.B. Comer last year to open the season. B.B. Comer jumped out to a couple touchdown lead, and then Dadeville annihilated them. They beat them 40-something to 20-something.
Wow.
That was at Dadeville, and B.B. Comer really never looked back after that loss and just kind of steamrolled everybody all the way till they got to Fife. And, they had a chance to go up 2 touchdowns on Fife early in that game. They broke a run, 70 yards to start the game, held Fife, got the ball back, threw a pass, hit a guy right in the chest. Would have walked in for another touchdown. He dropped it. They turned the ball over. 2 plays later, Fife, of course, does what Fife does. They make you pay. So, but I think B.B. Comer, with the majority of the guys back off that team, they understand what it takes. And I heard their coach at Media Day say, the moment might have been a little bit too big for them in that environment. You get there at Jordan-Hare Stadium, and, they started well, but he said still it was just you're playing a veteran team in Fife. You're playing a machine. They don't get rattled. they feel like they have what it takes and understand if they're able to get there to what to do to win it this time. So this BB Comer team is going to be fun to watch this year. They got one of the best running backs in the state back there. I mean, he's going to get a bunch of offers, and he's a good basketball player as well. But they've got athletes all over the field, and it'll be a tough task. Again, Dave will beat them last year, but Dave will lost a lot. So they've got to go to BB Comer.
And I think both didn't look real great against in their jamborees last week. So
right.
I don't know
it's
what that
hard
means.
to tell.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I just don't. I don't either. I think we know what Davil's going to do. Davil's going to run the football 98.7% of the time. Just making that number up. But really, they're going to run the ball almost every play, and they'll throw it when they absolutely have to, and even if they have to, they might not.
Yeah.
So, but that's Roger McDonald's philosophy, and then you gotta respect that, and the team has to buy in, and I think they'll be pretty good. Their schedule kind of sets up for them to do pretty well this year.
Well, to remind me of many years ago, had a young friend. He's passed on now, but he playing football for Horseshoe Bend, and I got a sneak peek at the game plan for them playing the team. I kid you not. It said 100% of the time they run on first down. 100% of the time. You know what the next thing it said was?
What?
Watch out for the pass.
Hey, you just never know, right?
I always got to be prepared
Well,
for the unknown.
Isn't that in everybody's back pocket when you get somebody to buy in 100%? That's the time that you're supposed to change it up and burn somebody.
That's what they say.
I mean, there's nobody in the stadium thinking he's going to run we used to laugh at Gus Miles on. We used to have a running wager. First play, run up the middle, right?
Yeah, fullback dive or
handoff, read option, keep. I mean, you might as well just start at second down.
Yep.
Just start the ball at 2nd and 8, because Auburn was going to start with a run play up the middle.
Run up the middle for 8-1.
1, 2. That was the
one.
wager. How many yards would we get? So, but that. Again, there's some predictability out there. Opelika Thompson on Friday.
Opelika got a snowball's chance in Ellick City.
Thompson is a 12-point favorite in this game. That's probably about right. Opelika's got some really good players. Their quarterback is back. I think he's going to make a difference. The problem is you're going against a team that is just so deep and so talented with Anquan Fagans and Trent Seaborn and the likes of those kids that won a state championship last year. They've won 3 in a row, going for 4. Opelika is newly in 7A from last year and then this year, so they're still cutting their teeth. And Opelika's not afraid of anybody. They play in one of the hardest regions in the state. They have Phoenix City and Auburn and Enterprise and those teams, Prattville. And Opelika's as good as any of those on any given night, but it's just such a gauntlet to have to play that schedule. So they're not scared of Thompson, obviously. I think they'll play with Thompson for a while, but I think Thompson ends up winning that game pretty handily.
Yeah, you say 3 in a row, and everybody in Auburn goes,
Right.
Should have been 2 in a row.
Randy said, have I discussed the Crampton Bowl conflict for Friday? And I did, the entire first segment. That's what we talked about, and it's really unbelievable. I mean, when you go back and you look at it from a standpoint that there wasn't somebody on either side, either school, superintendent, somebody that raised a question before the week of the game and said, hey, have y'all checked on Crampton Bowl? I heard there's a game going on Friday night over there. Have y'all decided where we're going to play?
Yeah.
Hey, it's okay. We'll call Wetumpka. No, can't play over here. We'll call Park Crossing. No, we're full. What about Alabama State? We can't help y'all, man. I mean, so where? I don't know if they'll play the game. As of right now, They have no venue. And again, Andy, it's not about going to turn the lights on. It's not about, hey, we'll take care of everything. We'll show up. Security, parking, concessions,
seating,
the staff, tickets. How you let everybody? I don't know if this is going to be pulled off. I don't.
Well,
I just don't.
We'll see what happens for sure.
Could they play Saturday?
Could that's another question. That's a good question.
I mean, they could.
Why not?
I mean, why wouldn't they?
We got to take another break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need. With top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that contain any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill. And our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Looking for an attorney you can trust for your real estate closings? Wisdom Law Firm at Lake Martin has you covered. Your real estate transactions are fast, convenient, and professional every step of the way. Wisdom Law is certified and licensed by the American Land and Title Association and approved by all local lenders. Visit Wisdom Law Firm at 6366 Highway 49 in Dadeville or at their Auburn location at 2353 Bent Creek Road. No communication concerning a lawyer's legal services shall be published or broadcast unless it contains the following language, which shall be clearly legible or audible as the case may be. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. About 30 more minutes in the first hour of tonight's program. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight.
Before we go to the phones, Roger said there is a college game in Crampton Bowl Saturday.
Yeah.
So they can't play then either. So it looks like they're out of options.
It sounds as though that.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to give that update.
All right, in continuing our SEC preview, we pulled a few strings and got the Locked On Bama participant. That would be our very own Luke Robinson. Luke, in transit, parts unknown. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I think participant's a good word for me. I appreciate that.
I do my best. Well, it's the Alabama preview here. I look down through here, and you know, to every Alabama fan, this seems normal, and it has kind of forced me to think of it normal. I found myself today even thinking back last year, thinking, who did Alabama play in the playoff? Because I just assumed that they made it.
Yeah.
But I look down through here, and 11 wins, 12 wins, 14, 14, 13, 14, 11, 13, 13, 11. That's just the last 10 years. This goes all the way back to 2008. This is, I think it's the most incredible run any of us have ever seen. But I look also and I see 6-2 twice in the last 4 years. So in conference, does this Alabama team have something to prove this year, do you think?
I do, but I think that, when you put out a stat like that about the 6-2 twice in 4 years, and that's true. I mean, those losses happened. I'm not taking anything away from them, but I think at the same time you can say they lost to the national champion and LSU in 2019 by 5 points. They lost to Auburn on the road when Tua Tagovailoa went down and they couldn't make a field goal, which they never can at Auburn anyway. Then they lose to Tennessee last year after missing a field goal, and some really questionable offensive play calling leads to a Tennessee field goal to end it at the end of regulation. And then LSU beats them in overtime on a 2-point conversion. So, they've had 4 losses, but they've all of them but one on the road, and they've all been within one score, most of them within a field goal. So it's been just absolutely remarkable. And so that's why when we still have folks, talk to us at Locked On Bama saying, boy, I just feel like the decline's on the way. I said, everybody take a step back just for a second. I know we're not used to seeing Alabama not win the West. I know we're not used to seeing them lose 2 games. I know we're not used to seeing them lose to Tennessee, period. But the way that they lost explains some of it. And I think you've got to put all this in context. Any other team in the world would be thrilled with this, and Alabama fans are almost inconsolable about some of it, to be honest. And I think that, part of having a run like this is also being able to recognize that when you're in the middle of it, that you should be able to enjoy it.
Well, Luke, you kind of led into what I wanted to say. I have I enjoy being on Gary Harris's show every Friday to give the Auburn report up there in Tuscaloosa, and we've become very good friends the last 4 or 5 years. And he and I talk not just on the air, we talk during the week and chat. And, Gary's a realist. He said, I don't know when this is going to end. He said, I hope it doesn't end anytime soon. But he said Alabama fans are not going to handle it well when they do have a year where they actually go 8-4, or when Nick Saban retires and things aren't rolling like this. He said we're spoiled. He said, and rightfully so. He said, I'm not saying that in a braggart way. He said, but we just expect now because of the standard. And he said, we all know that nothing in this life is a constant, and it eventually going to come back somewhere toward the center. He said, it may not go down the tubes, but you're going to have an 8-4 maybe somewhere down the line. And, he said, I just loathe the day to see Alabama fans when that happens.
And I think he would be right. I think he is right. I think you would be even more correct if we didn't have this expanded playoff coming up. This expanded playoff is hitting Alabama at a perfect time, because last year, Alabama almost made the playoff last year, and they clearly would have been in a 12-team playoff, and they probably would have been, the number 5 seed and hosting the 12 seed. So I feel like now Alabama fans, and especially if some of these automatic qualifiers, if maybe there's one less automatic qualifier when all the smoke clears from all this conference realignment, because the Pac-12 really isn't a conference anymore, that would be something that helps another at-large team. So there's going to be the programs like in Alabama are really going to benefit from this expanded playoff. That's the irony of it all. Everybody thinks it's going to help the little guy. No, it's going to help the big guys. The ones that, have 1 or 2 losses that played a good schedule. That's who it's going to help. And so I think that as an Alabama fan, if we go 8-4, but we're an 11 or 12 seed, as long as we have a shot at the title, I think everybody will be like, okay, we can live with it. Let's just get in the playoffs and try and make something happen. I think the expanded playoffs going to help ease some of that tension. But, this thing isn't going to last. I mean, and that's why it is. When we look back on Nick Saban's tenure, whenever he retires, this is going to be the most remarkable run in college football history. Because look at Oklahoma's had an incredible run. They hadn't done anything close to this. I mean, they've won, one national championship. They've been in the playoffs. They played for some others. But, when's the last time somebody beat Alabama the way Texas beat Oklahoma last year, 49-0 or something? I mean, that just doesn't happen very much. I mean, Clemson beat Alabama pretty good in a playoff game in Levi Stadium. I was there. But for the most part, that just doesn't happen. So, it's going to happen eventually. Nobody would have thought Oklahoma would be having a game like they did in the Red River Shootout or rivalry or whatever they call it last year. Everybody comes back down to earth a little bit. But Alabama's standard is going to be higher, but they may be under that standard for a little bit after Nick Saban's tenure is done. But he's not done right now, and I think he's got 4 or 5 years left in him, perhaps.
Look, I want to, before Andy gets into the nuts and bolts of asking you about Alabama this season, I want to go back to the playoff. You've out of our whole group have been you've been against the 12-team playoff since the discussion, and I know and you've had legit reasons, the BCS, and then we expanded to 4, and now it's 12, and you're like, well, when's it ever going to end? Just think. But now, like you said, it's kind of in the whole gist of this thing, the argument for expanding is, you had some good teams, some 10-2 teams that maybe deserved to get in and never got a shot because of the structure. And, now I'm kind of hearing you say, well, I'm okay with it because, I think some teams out there maybe do deserve to get in, and maybe Alabama was one of those last year that deserved to get in over TCU after that embarrassment. But now you take the ambiguity out and say, okay, those teams will get in. I've always felt like that's kind of what it was designed to do anyway.
No, I would – listen, here's the deal. I've just accepted reality. The expanded playoff is here, and that's not changing. So there's no sense in worrying about that anymore. So what I've tried to do is change my perspective on it and say, okay, I still don't like it. I find it so hilarious that all these college – I listen to Rick Neuheisel and Chris Childers, and they're like, we just don't like seeing the college game become like the NFL. Well, you expanded the playoffs. And that means teams that are 8-4 or 9-3, or God forbid somebody wins the conference with 4 or 5 losses. I mean, they could have like a top 4 seed potentially, I guess, under this scenario. That's never been what college football's about. College football's been like, you need to strive for perfection. Yes, every now and again there'll be an LSU that'll win the national championship with 2 losses. That was a complete anomaly. That was a total outlier. But now that we've expanded it, everybody thinks that this is going to be so good for the smaller teams. It's going to be good for the bigger teams. And again, I was against it even when I knew that, which my team benefits from this expanded playoff as much as anybody. But I was still against it because I wanted to keep the sanctity of the regular season. But now we have just decided, and now with conference realignment, what you're seeing, and it's happening before our eyes, and I think a lot of people aren't accepting it, we are becoming the AFC and the NFC. It's the Big Ten and the SEC. And maybe it'll be into 4 conferences somehow. Maybe there'll be an amalgam of 4 conferences or whatever. Regardless, all those little guys that everybody's been worried about, they're not going to be in the picture anyway. Where's Boise State going to fit into this thing? I don't care how undefeated they go. They're not making the playoff when everybody gets this thing the way they want it. And, again, everybody wanted expanded playoffs, but what that leads to, what that means is more money. And so I heard Rick Neuheisel complaining about this today. I want all the little guys to have, if the big conferences weren't just so greedy. I'm like, it's not about greed, it's capitalism. That why should Alabama and Auburn give up some of their profits so that Oregon State and Boise State can be relevant? I mean, I'm sorry that our state and our people care more about football. Y'all care about other things. Congratulations. I hope y'all are good at them. But my point is, the teams that are good and have the passion and have the money and have the resources and have the fan base commitment, those are going to be the teams that are going to be in this thing, not the little guys that everybody's been talking about.
And again, I go back to, I think you and I have had this discussion before. We knew that a 10-2 Alabama or a 9-3 Auburn or Florida, now we'll have an opportunity to get in the playoffs, and they may be playing good football at that time. Again, using Alabama as an example, they missed the playoff. They probably deserved to be in last year, but with only 4 teams, they didn't get that shot. Now, again, like you've said in the past, 6, 8, 12 wins enough. You know, I think having 8 solid teams in there is about what you get most of the time. Usually it's 4 to 6 that have a legit shot, but 8 would definitely cover it. They went to 12 because of one reason and one reason only, for money. No different than the NCAA tournament, which you have been staunchly against them expanding, but it's because of one reason. It's money. And you said it, capitalism. And as long as we have that in our society, the strong will continue to get stronger, the rich will continue to get richer, and the others will struggle. And it's like you said, we have to accept it or go find something else to do because it's here and it's here to stay.
Yeah, it's not going to change. And look, again, I've accepted the expanded playoff. I'm trying to look at it from a positive viewpoint now. There's no sense in complaining about it. But I would certainly politic against the expansion of the NCAA basketball tournament anymore. I mean, I don't need to see any more small teams get in there. And I know everybody, they say that's the best part is Cinderella. No, the best part is when you have a Final Four with Kansas and Duke and maybe UCLA and Michigan State. That's a Final Four I want to go to. That's a big boy Final Four. You know, if you had, I really think that in the end, everybody always tries to make these rules to help other people catch up. The problem is the folks making the rules aren't as smart as the Nick Sabans and the Greg Sankeys and everybody else. And those guys are going to be 2 steps ahead. They already see what's coming. I mean, that's one thing Rick Neuheisel does hit on the nose. He says, I wish Greg Sankey would have control of the NCAA and, like, get control of all this because he is the best at doing what's best for his conference. He is awesome at it. And maybe he could do that for all of college football. But the problem is, and this is where guys like Neuheisel lose sight, Oregon State doesn't care as much about football as Auburn does. They just don't, and they never will. And there's nothing that can change that. So there's the passion, the lifeblood of this thing is not only the resources and the money, but it's also you got to have the passion for it. And, yeah, there may be an Oregon State fan out there that's just as passionate as the best Auburn fan, but there's not 10 Oregon State fans that are as passionate as 10 Auburn fans, if you see what I'm saying.
Yep. We know it. Just FYI, Luke, from now on, Boise State is dead to us. We no longer use them.
Yeah, we don't bring them up.
We have to pick somebody, some other little team to use as our little.
Yeah, there goes Auburn again, stealing their coaches.
Little engine that could.
Yeah, let me tell you, if there's ever been a time we didn't want somebody stolen, it was that one. That was the reason they didn't say anything.
Luke, let's get back to Alabama here for a second. All I heard, I think, was that Ty Simpson was going to be the guy about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Then I heard, well, Jalen Milroe, it looks like it's going to be him. I think he's done enough. Now I'm hearing, well, yeah, none of these 3 guys look great, but watch the freshmen. Maybe not to start, but to take over by midseason.
Now, I don't think that's going to happen. Dylan Lonergan is who you're talking about, and he is a heck of an athlete, fantastic baseball player, too. And he has performed well at these scrimmages. And he's even gone against the ones, I think, for a little bit in the 2s. But mostly he's been going against the 3s and the 4s. So, yeah, he's going to look better. When Jalen Milroe went against the 3s and 4s at the end of A-Day, he looked awesome, too. So I think in the end, Alabama's got 3 pretty good options. None of these guys is Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, Bryce Young, or Jalen Hurts. None of them. And that's kind of hard, for some Alabama fans to accept, but I think that's the truth. And I think it's best for Alabama if Jalen Milroe were to win the job. I think he's the most marketable. I think that he would shine a great light on Alabama if he's good. If all 3 are equal, I'm going with Jalen Milroe. Now, if one of them wants to step up and take the reins, more power to him. But I think that Ty Simpson. I was on the Ty Simpson train at the beginning of the season. but it just hadn't come to fruition. It just hadn't manifested itself. Tyler Buckner apparently had some nice moments the other day, and I think he still, in practice, he throws a nice ball. He does all these, but he hadn't put it all together yet. So I feel like it's going to be Milroe. I'm good with that. I think that's the safe bet right now, and I think it's an interesting story because there's 100% chance game day will be in Tuscaloosa for Texas. Milroe was committed to Texas. He flipped to Alabama. He's from Texas. That's a good story.
Well, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, and the old pal Kevin. What is his name?
Steele.
Kevin Steele. I forgot.
Not Kevin Iron.
No, it's
Kevin
not.
Steele.
Had a moment there for a minute. What do you expect from these two new guys?
Aggressiveness, but more conservativeness. I think Kevin Steele will put maybe an aggressiveness, an anger back into this defense that's much needed. It's funny, and I don't know how to combat this. In fact, I agree with most Alabama fans saying this. If you watch any of these preseason games and you see what Will Anderson's doing at Houston, I mean, he just looked awesome the other day. Eli Ricks had a pick six for Philadelphia. He didn't really ever do much at Alabama. DeMarco Hellams, who was much maligned at Alabama, especially last year, he's played in 2 preseason games. He has 2 interceptions. And Henry To'oTo'o is killing it for the Texans. I mean, he may start as a rookie along with Will Anderson. I mean, he's just looking great. And all Alabama fans are saying is Pete Golding took those 4 guys and made them all look kind of pedestrian. I mean, Will Anderson did win Defensive Player of the Year because he's Will Anderson. I mean, he's a freak of nature. But Henry To'oTo'o, I would say, had a nice year last year. I think Eli Ricks was mildly disappointing. I think DeMarco Hellams, people would say he was okay. But now they've gone to the pros and they're really kicking butt, and you wonder, boy, if they'd had a better defensive coordinator, maybe Alabama would have been a little better, right? So I think that's what people are saying. So I think everybody's excited about Kevin Steele. I mean, he's old school, and that's fine. Tommy Rees, ironically, is a very young assistant, but he's kind of old school. I think we're going to go more downhill. There's going to be more throws to the tight end, which college football fans, for whatever reason, always love to throw to the tight end. I think Alabama's going to do that a lot. And they may have to do it out of necessity because I don't know that Alabama has an awful receiver.
It's good stuff. I mean, Luke, it's right around the corner. Middle Tennessee State on September the 2nd on SEC Network at 6:30, and then the big one on September the 9th in Bryant-Denny, 6 o'clock. You got the Texas Longhorns coming in with pretty high expectations. Steve Sarkisian returns back to Alabama. Quinn Ewers will be the quarterback. That'll be a premier game.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And, I mean, the ticket prices are saying this is going to be a big one. Alabama, I just saw an article on AL.com that Alabama tickets have overtaken Ohio State tickets for the most in-demand tickets for this year. I mean, there's a good home slate for Alabama. They get LSU, Tennessee, and Texas all in the same home slate. And all those games are going to be very interesting. A lot of people are picking LSU to win the West. I mean, I'm seeing it all over ESPN and CBS, and hopefully Alabama is using that as some sort of motivation. I've always thought that kind of goes out the window after a kickoff, but I hope they do it for something, because I'm going to tell you, I think LSU is going to be pretty good. I think Tennessee is going to be pretty good. I know Texas is going to be good. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be one of the most anticipated games of the year. There's no doubt about it.
Luke, thank you so much for taking some time. Be careful, and good travels.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
See you, buddy.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hey, honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later. And tell me everything.
Everything's great. I love it here.
This is Joseph Dean with Alabama Funeral Homes. As many of you are aware, we had a fire that significantly damaged our facilities. We are in the process of getting those rebuilt. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused the families that we serve. I want you to know that we are capable of handling all of your needs at Frederick Dean Funeral Home of Opelika, which will be servicing Alabama Funeral Homes families. We can be reached at our same number, 256-896-4502, or by email at joseph@alabamafuneralhomes.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Welcome back, everyone, to the, well, it's not the, we'll call it the Sports Blitz program.
It is the Sports
It is the Sports Blitz program.
It is the one that started it all.
That's true. This is the father of us all. We appreciate all of you out there being with us. Thanks to Luke for joining us, previewing Alabama. Looking at their schedule, Oklahoma, Middle Tennessee. But that Texas game right out of the break, you mentioned that. They go to South Florida the next week. Don't expect that to be much of a game.
God.
But Ole Miss, that's always interesting with Kiffin coming to town. 6-point game last year, by the way, at Mississippi State, at Texas A&M, back-to-back there. Arkansas, Tennessee. That Arkansas-Tennessee back-to-back. Arkansas, expecting a little bit.
No problem at home.
More, but
no problem.
It could get beat up a little bit because Arkansas is physical.
Hey, they could. I mean, I think they have a legit concern with Tennessee.
So you get a bye between Tennessee and LSU, both of those at home. How about a sneaky at Kentucky after LSU? That, depending on what Kentucky has done this year with the new transfer quarterback.
And I think, and be honest with you, Andy, I'm glad you said that. I think they upgraded. Everybody was high on
Will
Greer. Was it not Greer? But
Will,
not Swift. But anyway, everybody was high on him, and he's so underachieved.
Yeah.
And he got in the combine, and his deficiency showed even more. People were like, God, and he kept dropping down the draft board for a reason. So, thought he was very pedestrian, to use Luke's term. They upgraded this year. So, you know what? Kentucky may be better. I think we got a phone call.
Okay.
Caller, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, fellas? War Eagle.
What's going on, man?
Hey, this is Bo from Moody.
What's up, Bo?
Hey, Bo.
Hey, man. Remember last year when Bama was playing Texas and Ewers got hurt?
Yes.
Right.
If he had stayed in that game, they would have got beat.
Well, it was trending that way.
I tell you, Ewers looked great to start the game, for sure.
Yeah, it was trending that direction, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Moody is playing Pell City this week.
What is it about Texas losing their quarterback against Alabama? Was it Major Applewhite that went down?
No,
it was Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy gets hurt right out of the gate in the national championship game, and then
yeah, he's a little sissy anyway, so that's all good.
But it seems like Alabama, if they can just keep a quarterback healthy for 4 quarters, I think they've.
What I'm saying is, like, if yours wouldn't have got hurt, man, they would have beat Bama.
Yeah,
they would have beat them bad.
Definitely think they would have had a better chance for sure.
Who does Moody play? Did you say?
Pell City.
Pell City and Moody.
Yeah, that's going to be the return of Rush Probst.
Yes, sir.
Alabama High School Athletic Association.
Amon Lane,
that's right.
To us, he plays for Moody.
That's right.
Okay. And
good.
I'm going up there, and I'm going to give him a big War Eagle, man.
You should, man. Keep him. He needs to stay committed to Auburn.
Oh, he is. He's going to show his commitment. He's going to show his recruitment down, man.
Yeah, he's
it's over with.
Good player. And
what was it? Is he quarterback?
Amon, he plays cornerback.
Corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a defensive guy.
And Chad is their defensive coordinator.
Right.
Yep.
Well, it's going to be good, Bo.
Tell him not to get hurt.
Just don't get hurt. We make it through the season, we'll be good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think we're going to win 8 games this year, man.
Okay.
Moody's got a good football team. I will say you got a real good chance to do that.
I'm talking about us.
Auburn.
Oh, you're talking about Auburn. Well, Moody too.
Yeah.
Moody's going to be good too. But
I'll take 8 and 4.
I don't know if Auburn's going to win 8. But
I think we're going to win 8 with a bowl game, man.
Okay. I can take that.
All right. I appreciate y'all. God bless War Eagle.
Thank you, brother. Thanks so much.
Good to hear from Bo.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Hey, when football rolls around, everybody comes back.
That's
so
true.
Everybody takes a little bit of a break. I mean, it's understandable. Hey, the Rush Probst thing, by the way, there's I didn't watch it when it came out, the thing on Rush Probst at Valdosta, and I saw the preview the other night again, and it's him out there gritting and, saying every word in the book and acting kind of nuts. And then everything's always a controversy around him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the two-a-days thing when he was at Hoover, and it was showing off and shooting birds across the field. And, then he comes back, he's at Pell City, and they're in the 7-on-7 at Hoover, and they're getting kind of handed to him by Oxford. And I think some of the Oxford guys were taunting and stuff, and he walks out and gives a big F you to everybody, and it makes headlines on LW. I mean, it's like he's back. It's like, you never know what to expect. And
you do.
You do, but to what degree is what it is. But just wait, man. It's coming. It's going to be something to watch. And Pell City hasn't been good for a while, but he's won everywhere he's been. He's brought teams from the depths up to – he just knows how to do it. And so it's going to be interesting to see, Andy.
Oh, I guarantee you, this season, everybody that runs it up on him, that will be jotted down in a book.
He will be
somewhere.
That will be written down. Now, Moody's pretty good right out of the gate, so we'll see how they play. Roger said Probst had it approved. His team is staying in a hotel Thursday night, and it's a home game for Pell City. It's just I'm telling you, man, it is. I'll never forget
college atmosphere.
Well, I know we got to get to break, and one of the episodes of Two-A-Days, I'll never forget this, and I think it was when Nice came and played up here in Alabama when I had Tim Tebow, and he took the team to a hotel, and they were in the lobby down there, and I can't say what he said, but they were kind of unruly, and it was a little disorderly, and he got them all down there in the lobby, and just, I'm talking about people walking in trying to check. He's going nuts. He said, it's like you ain't ever stayed in a hotel. And, I mean, it just kind of going off on the players and, just the documentary. That kind of boosted him to stardom, I guess. But he's been in so many controversies since then. Yeah. Personal, and everything.
Professional.
Everything.
Yeah.
ESPN did
it's always something.
30, not a 30 for 30 on him, but something.
He almost spilled the beans on Alabama or somebody paying kids.
Yeah, he had that all. And then he was recorded in Valdosta talking about buying all this stuff for these players. And I mean, some guy had it all on his phone and turned him in. Man.
It's a sideshow. That's all right. It's a circus.
There you go. But the sideshow is at the circus.
It is there too. He is the sideshow. We got to take a break. That thus ended the first hour of Sports Blitz Live. But never fear, we will be back with hour number 2 right after this.
It's truck season at AHSAA Automotive. New Honda Ridgelines, $349 a month. Ford Rangers, $357 a month. Nissan Frontiers, $379 a month. And Chevrolet Silverados, $399 a month. At AHSAA Automotive. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. It's truck season at AHSAA Honda, Tony Serra Ford, Serra Nissan, and Serra Chevrolet.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com. You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City. Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than who? Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry? The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider. Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Lewis Pest Control is now serving Alexander City and the entire Lake Martin area. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. Whether it's residential, commercial, or industrial, Lewis has environmentally safe products for all your pest control needs. Lewis Pest Control.
Lay your best to rest. Call the best. Lewis Pest Control.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you for one more hour in tonight's program. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. We got Luke on the phone back to talk about Alabama and preview their season a little bit. A lot of great information there. Looking for probably Jalen Milroe to be the starter there. But, look, Alabama, you know, Paul Feinbaum made a big deal about it, about how, you know, he's kind of him-hawing around playing, you know, merry-go-round with the quarterbacks heading into the season. Alabama's done that before, and it's always seemed to work out.
Doesn't everybody look
just
for a
fine.
reason to kind of pounce on Nick Saban? I mean, because, you know, isn't it fun to find the chink in the armor with a guy that's been at the top for
I always try to
15,
tear
17.
down those on top.
Well, it is. And, you know, again, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, anybody would just give anything to have a run in their program like what we see on this paper right here. And so, yeah, I mean, you can't be perfect, but if there's been close to perfect in the world of college football, it's been Alabama. So,
that's for sure. How about your Auburn Tigers?
What about them?
5-7 last year. 6-5, 6-7, 5-7. Been going in the wrong direction ever since really 2019.
Is that part of our vocabulary? That statement you just said.
Going in the wrong
our
direction.
lifetime, in 40-something years on this earth, Andy, I've heard more times than not, well, we're just going in the wrong direction. And it becomes frustrating because, again, Auburn has the tools. They have the resources. They have the fan base. They have the want to as much as Alabama and Ohio State. There is something that's always gotten in their way, and it's themselves.
That's true.
People cannot keep their hand out of the cookie jar. Everybody wants to be the person with the credit that gets all the attention, and whether it's boosters, whether it's an administrator, whether it's a coach, whatever, it's just never pulling in the same direction. Now, I know it's early, but Auburn has a new athletic director, a new president, a new football coach, a new attitude overall in the athletic department with guys like Butch Thompson and Bruce Pearl. It seems like maybe for the first time in our life that everybody seems that might be pulling in the same direction.
Yes.
Now, again, it can go south so fast at Auburn, and we're used to being on top one day and at the bottom the next. So we ride a wave probably worse than anybody, but we're also a team that it doesn't take 20 years to recover from stuff like Tennessee or Florida, or when they go to the dumps, it takes forever. Auburn can be back in 1 year, and it really makes no sense, and nobody has an answer for it. So when you look back at records and you go 6-5, 6-7, 5-7, when you look at that run, it's like, that is horrible. That's pathetic. They've been through 2 coaches, now on their third in that span, and it would not shock a single person out there in college football if Auburn went 10-2 this coming year.
No, it wouldn't.
Now, again, are they going to? Probably not. Would they go 6-6, 7-5? Probably so. That's probably going to be realistic, which would be better than any of the other 3 years that they've got on this paper, and especially if they win 7 games and have a chance to win 8 in a bowl game. But I'm just saying that, you can put a 12-2 in there and then a 10-4. But it is such, and then a 9-4. You can every 2 or 3 years have a run, so to say. But it just really is impossible to figure out Auburn. You just don't know, man.
There's no
I
question about it.
I quit trying to do that a long time ago.
Don't try to figure them out, but I agree with you, and we've all said this, and I say this tentatively, that we may be on the same page for the first time in our lifetimes. Maybe, Pat Dye wrangled the wheels of men in 1981. There's no question about that. He had his detractors, I'm sure. But everybody got on board after 1982.
They did.
And 1983 was, a great year.
Well, you
And
had
I
to
felt
go
that
through 10 years of hell. You had to go through 10 years of hell to finally get everybody to wake up and say that. Maybe that's what we're looking at here. Maybe even the ones that have been in the way are going, you know what, I need to take a step back and let this thing get back on the track.
Well, how about this? All we heard during our growing up was Bobby Louder, Bobby Louder, Bobby Louder.
Right.
I look at a new football performance center that costs $90 million, and it's got Wooltost's name on it.
Right.
I look at an arena that costs $90 million to build, and it's got Neville on it.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn's got donors that I've never heard of with some deep pockets.
Auburn's,
So I think we've got the donors.
Well, I think we've
fan
always
base.
had everything in place.
Well, apparently we got donors now that maybe will stay out of there. They will know their role.
They just want.
I hope.
They just want to give their money to a program to help them be successful.
Yeah.
Isn't that really
because they love
Instead
Auburn.
of giving money and saying, "Hey, by the way, I'd like to call the plays in the first quarter against Tennessee." Okay, I'm going to give you $150,000, but do you mind if I call a couple of plays? I know that's being facetious, but it's almost to that level. It's almost to that level of ridiculousness with some of the guys at Auburn.
It used to be.
And I worked in the media relations department. I saw things firsthand. I know how stupid some things have gone on down that we've had to deal with. And again, Auburn has been its worst enemy. more times than not.
Well, it like you said, new president, new AD. It's a new day.
It's all new.
So I'm more excited about this season than I have been in a while, and for good reason. I think one of the position groups that we've been lamenting over for years. It seems like, hadn't seen them play a game yet, but it seems like they may be a strength of the team.
But can I ask you,
how long has it been?
Let me go back and just say something. But since we're digging
Offensive line, by the way.
All right, Alabama in 13 went 11-2, 7-1. So did we. 2014, Alabama went 12-2, 7-1. We went 8-5, 4-4. Okay. Alabama in 15 went 14-1, 7-1. Auburn went 7-6, 2-6. How in the H does Gus Malzahn come in and take over one of the worst teams in college football history and Auburn's history in 12, take them to a national championship, and progressively get worse after that?
Well, the Jeremy Johnson debacle, that was why we went 7-6. And it was
okay. So we're going to let one guy determine how?
It was a change in philosophy. You went away from what worked. And
so you remember we were at a fever pitch on this show in 15. I'll never forget it. Every week we said Gus Malzahn's on a hot seat. He's 2 years removed from almost winning a national championship. He's on a hot seat because pretty much sucked. He won 2 conference games. It's unexcusable. Next year, 5-3 in conference, 8-5. Was that the Birmingham Bowl win? 16.
No, I think that was 15.
Okay, whatever. We crept back up a little bit, right? We kind of got things. All right.
Well, we actually went to, wasn't 16 the year we actually went and got hammered by Oklahoma?
It was.
Because we
Sugar
were.
Bowl. Yeah, we didn't deserve to be there.
Well, Sean White got hurt
I
late.
know.
Cameron Petway got hurt late. We were out.
That was the pathetic Auburn, Georgia game.
Yes.
All right, the 17 year, 10-4.
That's what saved him. That's what gave us.
Of course, and gave him a brand new contract.
Yeah.
That's Auburn. That 4-year stretch.
That was a really good team.
That was 4 years. That is Auburn in a bottle right there. From 13 to 17 is Auburn in a bottle. Brink of termination. Crept back up, did a little bit, just enough to kind of say, well, we can't really fire him because he went to the Sugar Bowl. Although we didn't deserve to be there because it was really by default because nobody else was good enough to go either.
That is true.
Okay, so we got killed by Baker Mayfield. So then you come back with Jarrett Stidham, who saved his job. Jarrett Stidham saved Gus Malzahn's job because without Jarrett Stidham.
But again, I will say Sean White did break his arm on the first drive.
He did, but it wouldn't have mattered.
It probably would.
And then you get Gus being Gus, 8-5, 9-4, and then he just couldn't deal with it. 6-5, 6-7, and and then you
18 was the year. That's the second year of Jarrett Stidham.
He got
worse.
Nick Marshall got worse in 14.
That was the one we were thinking, okay, 18's really got some expectation, and we go out and go 8-5.
Well, didn't we feel the same way about 14?
Yes.
The mantra was
because we tanked late.
13 seconds. That's all. 13 seconds.
Got hammered by Georgia. Then go out and
got beat by Mississippi State.
Run up down the field against Alabama, and it could have won that game, but kind of got blown out.
55-44. It was an Arena League football game. Alabama was 12-2. They had a good year, but they didn't win a championship that year. So
Gus Malzahn won the Birmingham Bowl by beating Memphis and beat Purdue, right? Did he win another bowl game?
No, those were the two, and those were two of the worst opponents you could have. Purdue's, we scored every time we touched the football.
Yeah.
Which, that was a fun game in the Music City Bowl. But
think about how much better these records will look if you just win a bowl game. I mean, you win 9 instead of 8. You win 10 instead of 9.
Right.
We'd feel a lot better about it. Now, maybe Malzahn's still here. So maybe that's not a good thing. But we just could. I'm so sick of not being able to win a bowl game and losing interconference and losing Power 5 interconference matchups. I'm sick of that. Getting our head handed to us by Clemson, by Penn State. But, I mean, it's got to stop.
Right. I don't have answers, man. I mean, again, Do you want to know why Auburn fans are bipolar? Look at that. Look at that right there. You can have some of the best years, and you can have some of the dumpiest immediately, and then you can be right back again. It's almost like some type of psychology experiment. Let's test the emotions. Let's see how far we can take them high, and let's see how far we can drop them low, and let's see how much money we can blow in between all that.
It's a long experiment.
It's
been going on
for a long time.
We're up against the break. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Talladega Outdoors in Talladega is your authorized Kawasaki sale and service center. Your home for Bad Boy mowers and Kimco scooters, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. Rather for hunting, land management, or recreation, they have the ride for you. But they are also everything outdoor with full lines of accessories and is now your Ariat workwear and boot store, along with kayaks and outdoor accessories. Talladega Outdoor, Highway 21 in Talladega. Everything outdoor and Alabama's #1 Kawasaki dealer.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Truckloads of fresh inventory are rolling into Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado four-wheel drive crew cab. Discounted up to $11,250 off. Chevy Equinox with 0 down as low as $329 per month. Chevy Malibu 0 down as low as $369 per month.
Get your best price every day at Glenn Smith in Opelika, on the lot or online at glennsmith.com. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. About 45 more minutes left in tonight's program. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We previewed Alabama a little bit earlier. Previewing the Auburn Tigers now. All we've heard, Brett, is the offensive line looks like a strength. There's not only some really big upgrades across every position, there's depth now on this offensive line. The running game has sounded really, really good. Now, is that a product of Auburn's offense, or is that a product of Auburn's defense? That's something we don't know yet, but last year the Auburn Tigers gave up 172, almost 173 yards rushing a game. That was 96th in the country. They ran the ball actually pretty well last year. They were third in the SEC running the ball last year, but if you've got a strong offensive line, you can keep your quarterback protected and you can run the football, then that makes everything else easier. And you can get first downs, you can move the ball consistently, you can score points, and if you got a quarterback that's halfway decent and some receivers, your passing game will look a lot better if you can run the football. So I love the sound of that. Hadn't seen them do it yet, but are we going to be soft against the run? That's the question.
You know, I think the defensive line's one of the bigger question marks on the team this year, and I think Coach Freeze talked about it coming out of the scrimmage, and he didn't know if we're that good running or if we're that bad up front. I think only time will tell that. We're not deep. We got a lot of guys that are unproven. We got a lot of guys that look pretty on paper. They have the size and what you look for in D linemen, but you know, that doesn't win football games. So I'll just have to wait, obviously, like everybody, and kind of see where we are with that. But, you know, I'm going to go back to, and I know this is last year, and this is such a different team. There's so many different faces on this team, Andy, and so many different parts and new coaching staff and everything that goes with this. But, you know, you go back, and it's the Penn State game that really drives you crazy as an Auburn fan. You know, you play two nobodies. We didn't – the quarterback situation was a disaster last year. Everybody could see it, that T.J. Finley was not the answer. But somewhere down the line, Brian Harsin thought that guy was going to be the guy to win football games in the SEC. We'd known it for 2 years that he was terrible. He couldn't get it done. They were bringing him and Robbie Ashford in and out of games in the San Jose State and Mercer. He finally looked so daggum bad and got hurt, but I don't think that would have mattered. He looked so bad against Penn State that even Brian Harsin said, look, we can't win with this guy. I mean, so you win the ugliest, maybe the ugliest win in Auburn history outside of the 3-2 Mississippi State game.
The Missouri
game in overtime. If there's ever been a team that literally gave something away, they gave that one.
Oh, absolutely.
Then we go on a historic stretch. We get up 17-3 or 17 nothing on LSU at home and lose 21-17. Never were in the Georgia game. That was embarrassing.
The worst second half adjustment coaching staff
I've ever seen. Ole Miss tells you how bad Ole Miss was. They gave up 34 points to that team. They had no defense. And that's why, again, I hate it for all you Ole Miss and Mississippi State fans out there, and you can take shots at me if y'all ever get over the hump, but you're not ever going to get over the hump. You just can't do it. It's not structured for you to win. You're not going to win. You can get Kamari and Franklin, and which you should get the best player in Mississippi. But I'm sorry, Kamari, you might beat Auburn one time if you're there for 4 years. You may not beat them at all. I mean, we'll see. But Ole Miss and Mississippi State, with the way college football is built, that it's going to take a miracle for them to ever win it. It's just there's too much stacked against them. But you look at this Arkansas game, the Mississippi State game was an embarrassment. We had Cornell there. They did the best they could. Should have won that game.
Was that in overtime too?
No,
okay,
I think they came down and kicked or scored right there before the end. But it may have gone to overtime. I think it may have gone to overtime.
I can't remember now.
I blocked everything out. Texas A&M had one of the worst teams along with us, and we outsarted them 13-10. And then, of course, you know, we showed up. We played hard.
There were people thinking we might get beat by Western Kentucky.
Well, Gunnar Britton.
That's right.
I mean, pretty good. I mean, it was unquestioned for a while.
They had the number one passing offense.
Yeah, I mean, they played pretty good. I mean, we kind of ran away with it late, but for the most part, I mean, you look at the non-competitiveness, and again, it goes back to Penn State's a good program, but they're not 41-12 better than us on our field. And
I
so,
wouldn't have thought.
Well, I mean, it's, again, what a disaster, and what a disaster Brian Harsin was going to create even bigger disaster if he would have stayed.
The San Jose State game should have been a alarm warning.
It was.
You know, those games, I always go back to that 2017 team was actually struggling with Mercer up until the fourth quarter. And they went on, found themselves, the light clicked on, whatever you want to call it, and they went on to go to the SEC title game, win the West. But that's a anomaly. That's a rarity. When Auburn goes and plays at San Jose State at home, and they beat them 24-16, you're not real good, and you're not going to win a lot of games. So if Auburn doesn't just hammer UMass, if they don't just hammer Samford, if they don't go out and beat Cal by 2 touchdowns,
right,
they're not going to be a great team. Now,
they're not. You just say you're being honest. You're right.
Even if they do those things, it doesn't guarantee they'll be a great team. But at least you'll think, okay, we got a pretty decent team.
Well, and I think what you're going to see from Auburn this year is a lot better effort. You're going to be better in several positions. You're going to be better on the offensive line. I think you're going to be better at the quarterback position. I think there's going to be a lot of things that are improved. You play in a very tough conference, but I think next year with the class that Auburn's got coming in and how Hugh Freeze knows to recruit, you're going to have an infusion of really talented freshmen that are going to get on the field and get Auburn back to where Auburn's used to be, where Auburn expects to be a top 10 program in the country, to compete for SEC championships and have a chance to compete and get in the playoffs. That's where Auburn should be from a financial standpoint, from a facility standpoint, from a fan base standpoint, and from an athlete standpoint. And they got the guy down there now, and I think most people know Hugh Freeze knows how to win in this league. He won at Ole Miss with a lot lesser. So now that he's at Auburn with all the resources and to be able to recruit the top players like Auburn's able to do, now he's got the recipe to go out and win championships. And I think he's driven to do it. He's got something to prove. He's glad to be back in the SEC. So,
no question. Up against another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell, and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today. Lake Area Realty at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Blitz live program on this Tuesday.
We're like
evening.
the Ohio State.
We are. Oh, appreciate it.
Hey, Ty said
yeah,
we
they've been
did
with us.
lose in overtime to Mississippi State.
Okay.
It was OT.
There you go. I thought that I had a bad memory or something there. Maybe it was.
Well, you
bad
know, I know what happened. We scored and had that stupid kickoff, and they ran down, and then they got into field goal range in time to kick a field goal.
That sounds about right.
Right before the game ended, we had it won. And I think, did we squib it and it hit a guy, an up man? And I'm like, we just can't.
I can't.
But anyway, again, let me say this for all you Mississippi State and Ole Miss fans. Even with old Lane Train, who looks rough, by the way, that picture I sent y'all yesterday, he can do it himself. It looks like he's staying out at the bar a long time. Which he's probably doing that.
Maybe doing.
But the only time Ole Miss and Mississippi State ever beat Auburn, which is very few and far between if you want to go back and look at the history books. Ain't many wins. 15, 16 for Ole Miss.
Yeah, they don't have.
I mean, that's serious.
Very one-sided.
We're terrible. We have a bad year. Something's going wrong. And then you end up beating us 48-34 in a shootout at home. So, you know, y'all beat us one out of every 10 years. That's okay. That's fine. You know, that's why when we have a guy from Mississippi State on our show, not to show disrespect, and he says we're going to go 8-4, and he kind of just counts Auburn as a win, it's like, hey, you said you've been covering Mississippi State since 1979. Have you not looked at y'all's record against us? I mean, and I know they've won 2 games in a row against us, which have been terrible. 2 years ago was the biggest blown loss, even more than the LSU game last year. Well, we up 28-3 and lost that game.
Yeah, I think that's right.
28-3 at home against Mississippi State, and you lost.
Oh yeah. Well, we started out 0-2 versus Ed Orgeron and 0-2 versus Mike Leach when he was at Mississippi State. We beat him when he was at Washington State, but even that, they were throwing in the end zone. I think in the last on the last drive. But anyway, how about Saturday, August the 26th, as in just a few days from now? Navy and Notre Dame in Dublin, Ireland. This one at 1:30 on NBC. I don't know what time it'll be. Maybe a night game there.
Probably not over there.
At Dublin.
Well, I mean, what are they, about 6 or 7?
I think 7 maybe ahead of us. Maybe
That's
6.
right. Let's go to the phone line.
Let's do it.
Caller, go ahead. Hey, caller, you with us? I don't guess you are. So if you'd like to call back, give us a shout. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. UTEP at Jacksonville State. And I've got a note here. Jacksonville State's first game in Conference USA. Did they move up, Jacksonville State?
I don't know. Are you talking about up in conferences?
Yeah, like up from the FCS to FBS.
You know, I don't really know the answer to that.
No.
I'll have to look that up. But I don't remember that.
I don't
remember that happening, but I may be off. And unfortunately, it's not a shot at Jackson. I don't cover them like we cover Auburn every day.
Yes,
and again, we know Troy, we know Jacksonville State, we know UAB, but we're not beat
Jacksonville
rivals.
State.
Yeah, exactly.
UTEP coming.
Well,
New
I mean, is
Mexico
that a
coming
big?
too.
I mean, UTEP's not some monster.
No, but I mean, if they're both in Conference USA, it could be a conference game.
But could be. I don't think they'd have a conference game.
4:30 on CBS Network, CBS Sports Network, that is. UMass, our first opponent. So if you want to get a sneak peek at the Minutemen, They will be playing New Mexico State. That one at 6 o'clock on ESPN. National broadcast there for you. Ohio at San Diego State, 6 o'clock on FS1. San Diego State, a pretty good team.
Yeah, okay.
Hawaii at Vandy, 6:30 on the SEC
Have you seen the
network.
disaster of that stadium in Vanderbilt? I've got tickets.
I've seen what's left of
I've
it.
got tickets to go in November to watch Auburn. 28,000 students.
Could not get an end zone seat because
Because there's not.
there
an
are
end
no
zone there.
end zone seats.
I'm sitting on the 45-yard line, so of course most everybody else is too.
Most
because
everybody.
I mean, they're you either between the 20s.
Does it go line to goal line?
It does.
Okay. Yeah, so.
But it's only 28,000 people, man. And Vanderbilt has Georgia coming in. They have Kentucky coming in. They got Tennessee coming in, and they got Auburn coming in.
Yes, they do.
To 28,000. Who made, again, going back to leadership, who made that decision?
Clark Lee said at Media Days, he said, look, progress is going on. Yes. Is it annoying? Yes, but it's progress, and that's fine with him. So I guess they just had to say, look, we're going to have some problems, but if we want to step up our game, we're going to have to push through. I guess so. San Jose State, they'll be at USC.
But can I go back? Could they not have cut a deal with the Titans?
You would think.
I mean, it ain't like they'd have a lot to clean up and get ready for the next day for Titans home game. I know they'd like to have an extra. I mean, I know and if they have priority, but I mean, you would think, man, maybe Tennessee's on the road. For
Are you telling me there's not a bigger stadium in all of Nashville that you could go? And I mean, somebody.
If I know, man.
I mean, good grief.
Reed, are these calls for us? Okay. All right. So
We got a
let's get
thumbs
to
up.
it. Well, there's somebody dialing the phone, so I don't know if they're trying to talk to us or not. Caller, are you with us? Go to the other line. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, Brett, this is Bo again, man. I wanna ask you a question. What do you think about Vanderbilt putting us at homecoming?
I mean, whatever. I mean, I think if you look at their home schedule, we probably look about as good for homecoming as anybody when they got Georgia and Tennessee and Kentucky and the likes of those teams coming in. So, hey, but look, I think we'll be up to the task. I don't think we're worried about Vanderbilt. We need to go up there in November and take care of business.
I know, man. I just think it's kind of disrespectful to us, man.
I hope we take it that way.
Absolutely, you should.
Yeah, I do too. Oh man.
I don't think a lot of that. No, nobody really pays attention to that. Yeah, that's
Okay,
a lot, that's a lot for
Auburn
fans.
High School. Who are they playing first? You know?
Auburn High School, they open up with Hewitt Trustful. I know Phoenix City opens up with Hewitt Trustful. I can't remember who Auburn opens up with. I'd have to look their schedule up. I love hearing myself, by the way, Bo, in the background. I hear more of myself. Well, Bo, we appreciate the call, buddy. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
We'll figure out who Auburn opens up with.
Well, I mean,
and we will figure out what was the other one we were trying. Oh, Jacksonville State.
we'll get all
one more
that.
game. Florida International at Louisiana Tech. That one to nightcap, 8 o'clock on the CBS Sports Network. So, if you're interested in college football, look, I mean, they're not great games, but it is college football.
And they open up at Hoover.
Open at Hoover.
Yeah, I knew it was a good. I mean, they played each other to start the season last year.
Okay.
So
in Auburn?
Yeah, so they
Okay.
go to Hoover this time. So look at this. You got Hewitt Trustful in Phoenix City, Hoover and Auburn, and Thompson and Opelika. The matchups of those two regions.
Wow.
Like, really, that's pretty interesting, man.
That is. It can't be coincidence, right? We got to take another break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The food at Oscar's Cafe makes your mouth water. At Oscar's, enjoy great tasting catfish, or maybe you're just in the mood for one of Oscar's fresh salads. Even kids know the place for a fine meal is Oscar's with a great kids menu. Oscar's also has great tasting burgers full of backyard flavor. So come on out to Oscar's Cafe for great food and homegrown hospitality. We're located on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, just before the Blue Creek Bridge. And remember, it's all fun and games till there's only one cheese ball left.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today, Lake Area Realty, at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett here with you. Only a couple more segments left in tonight's broadcast, I think.
I think so.
We got a call.
Maybe. Caller, go ahead.
Hello?
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 Yes?
Yes. We can play this game all night. What's up? Hello?
Yes?
What you got on your mind?
Roll Tide.
Good job. You got anything else to say?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
I want Roll Tide against Auburn.
Got a long way till that game. A lot of football to play.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. That's a long way.
That's
for
right.
that.
That's right.
But,
No doubt.
yeah. Everybody, hey, look, I mean, you know, everybody's got their own thing, right? But anyway, I'm sure Luke would appreciate it for sure.
There's no doubt. That's a Luke fan right there.
All right. So, did we ever find out where Jacksonville State is FBS?
I haven't looked it up yet, so I'm too busy doing something else. Answering a fan over here. So.
Yeah, well, that can be difficult.
That's right.
All right, let's see. We only got 2 segments left. We'll save that for the last segment. But Looking at Auburn's schedule as we kind of close things out on that Auburn preview side, opened up with UMass at Cal. That's kind of a pivotal game. I don't know how good Cal is, but it is an away game all across the country. That there is something to that. It takes place at 9:30 at night. Now, I reiterate what I said to begin with. Auburn, in normal circumstances, should beat Cal and should beat them handily.
Right.
Now, are these normal circumstances? No, because it's a first-year situation. But you'll know if Auburn is got any chance to be any good this season by probably how they play Cal.
No doubt.
We'll see what happens on that road trip. Samford at Texas A&M, that one on the road. Who knows how good Texas A&M will be? Will they have beaten Miami in Game 2? Will they have lost that game down in Coral Gables? Who knows? But Bobby Petrino, will he still be the OC in Game 4?
Do you think that can have a meltdown?
Oh,
I think I said it the other day on the show. I think we're just waiting. I hope Auburn's the reason they start to have a meltdown.
That'd be nice. Now, I've always thought Bobby Petrino was an excellent offensive coordinator. So if Jimbo can stay out of it, I think the offense will be very effective. Let's just say that. But I just don't know if those two can coexist.
Right.
In a meeting room and trying to develop a game plan. Maybe it works out great, but we'll see. Georgia at home. First road game for a new quarterback, freshman quarterback in Georgia.
Carson Beck.
What's Georgia's? More than likely they're undefeated.
Right.
Coming into Jordan-Hare, but that needs to be a place that is going berserk when Georgia comes in, because that's a series. You talk about Ole Miss and Mississippi State. The Auburn-Georgia series is one that's always been close up until about 7, 8, 10 years ago. Now it is just gone in completely Georgia's way. So that's a series that Auburn, and a lot of those games have not been close.
Right.
So Auburn has got to start to close the gap on that series for sure.
I mean, at some point in time, if you want it to be a series, you got to step up and pull your weight. You got to do your part.
Take a bye after Georgia. On the road at LSU, the curse has been broken. Thank you, Brian Harsin. So, look, I mean, is it inconceivable that Auburn goes down there and wins at LSU? Absolutely not. Ole Miss, Mississippi State back-to-back at home. At Vanderbilt on the 4th of November. Remember the 4th of November. At Arkansas, and then New Mexico State, and wrapping things up, the Iron Bowl in Jordan-Hare Stadium this year. If you got to look for one game you're really, really looking forward to the most, what would it be?
In the season, any game?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to take them one at a time. I want to go 3-0 to have a chance to go to Texas A&M and win a big game on the road.
Be nice. No question.
I mean, I think that's really kind of going to determine where we are, Andy. If we can go on the road and win against Texas A&M, it kind of sets the stage to possibly win 8 or 9 games. If not, we're looking at 6 or 7 wins.
I think that's fair. We will. I'm kind of looking forward to the. I would say the road trip to LSU. I want to say I think that's a good measuring stick. I'm not sure Georgia is a fair measuring stick for us at this point. Right. But I think LSU is on the road, and I'm interested to see how we play. I mean, going to Texas A&M, certainly it won't be our first road game of the year, so we ought to be settled in to ourselves a little bit.
Right.
But it's always fun to go to LSU, and perhaps it would be one of those early games, maybe a 2:30 game.
Depends on how we're playing.
Rather it not be at night.
Right.
Those don't seem to go well.
We did win last time it was at night.
We did. Surprisingly, for sure. And we're up 17-0 last year. So,
right.
Like you said. So, going to go ahead and take another break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with one final segment of Sportz Blitz Live right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
This fall, nobody beats Martin's Sports Pub for Lake Martin's best sports experience. Martin's all-star lineup of cold beverages and pub fare food can't be beat. With the region's best wings, burgers, and signature dishes. At Martin's, you always have the best seat in the house for all college and NFL on our multiple 360 view TV and huge projection screen with surround sound. See our pigskin square board weekly to win big money and let our all-pro teams serve it all to you at the place we all win. Martin's, Highway 34, Dadeville. Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Brett taking you up to 9 o'clock. All right, Brett, I'll give it to you the choice. Kenny Rogers and Roland Orzabal, born on this day. Of course, Kenny Rogers and one half of Tears for Fears, Roland Orzabal.
I'm not going with one half of Tears for Fears. I'm going to go with Kenny Rogers.
You didn't like Tears for Fears?
No, I'm not going one half of Tears for Fears over Kenny Rogers, though.
Well, I'm saying I was going to do either straight Kenny Rogers or Kenny Rogers duets.
Oh.
Or, and then I was also going to do Tears for Fears. So,
we'll probably have time to do them all.
We may have to do it. Okay.
Let's just start.
Kenny Rogers, born on this yesterday, 1938, died in 2020.
COVID got him.
The Gambler, Lady, Coward of the County, You Decorated My Life, and Lucille.
Lady number one.
You picked a fine time to leave me.
Lady's number one.
Lady, okay.
Oh, yeah. Man, what an awesome song, man.
Very great, and also a duet.
Right.
With Lionel Richie.
Yeah, he did. I remember that. Outstanding. The Gambler, 2.
Okay.
The Coward of the County, 3. Lucille, 4, and You Decorated My Life, 5.
Okay.
You decorated my... What decorated with what?
That's
Christmas lights?
all good things, I guess. I don't know.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm going to go... I'm going to pick an upset here. and go with Lucille, number 1.
There you go.
Coward of the County, number 2. The Gambler, number 3. Lady, and then You Decorated My Life, number 5. How about Kenny Rogers' duet? The man was not only a great solo artist, he was a great duet man as well. Islands in the Stream with Dolly Parton. Every Time Two Fools Collide with Dottie West. Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer.
Right.
With your girl, Kim Carnes.
Kim Carnes.
And
We Got Tonight.
Don't Fall in Love with a Girl with Betty Davis eyes either.
No. Right.
We've Got Tonight.
That's a good one.
With Sheena Easton.
Very good.
And finally, Buy Me a Rose with Alison Krauss.
I am a big fan of that.
Now that
Buy me a...
Nah.
I just, no. That's
We'll put
last.
that one last.
That's last. How can you not have Islands in the Stream with not number 1?
That's, I mean, you
That's
know,
a given,
probably
right?
given.
I'm gonna go. We've Got Tonight too. That's a good one.
That is a
Sheena
good one.
Easton. Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer. 3. Every Time Two Fools Collide. 4, and then I'm going with Buy Me a Rose. 5.
Okay.
That's my.
I will go Islands in the Stream. I'm going to go Every Time Two Fools Collide, number 2. I'm going to go Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer, number 3. Just as I have them here, We've Got Tonight, and finally Buy Me a Rose. I like that. Any Dottie West, I always liked him and
Right.
he and her. They did some good ones together. All right, Tears for Fears, one of the underrated 80s duos. Roland Orzabal and Kurt Smith.
Yeah.
Roland, born on this day, 1961. Everybody, and I mean everybody, wants to rule the world.
I'd say popular song, man. It's been remade several times.
Yes, it is. Shout.
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 Let it all out.
Let it all out. Sowing the Seeds of Love.
It's a good one, man.
Sowing the seeds.
Very odd song, but it goes into different.
Sowing the seeds.
Yep.
How about Head Over Heels? Something happens and I'm head over heels.
Mad World.
Mad World. How about, you know?
Those are good ones, man. Hard to beat them. Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
A mad world.
I'm going to go with that one. I like Sowing the Seeds of Love second.
What's number 1?
Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Okay, yeah.
I like Shout third, Head Over Heels 4, Mad World 5.
I'm going with an upset.
Do it.
Sowing the Seeds, number 1 for me. Love that song.
I've got them. I got that second. So.
I mean, everybody, and I'm even going to go Head Over Heels, number 2, and put Everybody Wants to Rule the World, number 3, because everybody has, you know, it's so played. And I'm going to actually put Mad World, number 4, and Shout, which is still great,
right,
number 5. But yeah, I love Sowing this. It's just, it's got a nice flow to it. They do a really good.
It's very good.
Together.
I like Tears for Fears.
Very good.
Very good band.
Very good. All right, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us tonight. We appreciate all of you out there being with us. We appreciate all of your support, all the phone calls, and all the texts. Be sure to join, I guess, Brett and I again tomorrow, 12 to 1 for the Auburn Blitz, and we will bring you everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics. Have a great night, everyone. He is Brett Pritchard. I am Andy Graham. So long for now. We'll talk again soon.
Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor wants you to know we appreciate a great year from all of East Central Alabama, and now our inventory of superior zero-turn mowers from Spartan and Mahindra tractors is on the move. Shop Lake Martin Tractor for outstanding deals, finance rates as low as 0% and low payments. Spartan mowers as low as $84 per month. Mahindra four-wheel drive tractors and loader packages as low as $399 per month, including cutter, box blade, and 20-foot trailers. Spring into 22 at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, Highway 280 in Alexander City, or online lakemartintractor.com.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.